Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrots and Olives. My name is Brittany, and today I'm going to be talking about something very exciting for 2019. We are going to be going in my 2019 bullet journal. So for those of you who don't know, I love leather covers. This is my leather cover for 2019. This is the Sojourner Folio 2.0, and it is housing an A5 Archer and Olive journal. This is an A5 dot gray journal with white pages. Very nice and thick pages. Although it only has 160 pages, I feel like it should still be sufficient enough to at least last me half of the year. Fingers crossed. So without further ado, let's get into the voiceover. Hey everyone, okay, now we're at the voiceover. I hope you guys enjoyed that little intro I did. Next year, I plan to do a lot more of those if you guys like them. So let me know in the comments down below. But this video is all about my 2019 bullet journal, and I absolutely love the Archer and Olive journal that I'm using here. It has very thick paper and it has been able to withstand all of the plethora of black pens that I'm using in this video. Now don't worry, I will link all of those materials down below in the description box in case you have any questions. So moving on to the very first page, I did put in my name. Now the second page, I started off with a 2019 type of intro. I wanted to make sure I title my page with the year, but also add a little bit of pizzazz to the intro page so it's not too boring. Now, I had been thinking about what I was going to be doing for my 2019 bullet journal for the longest time, I swear. I have been thinking about my bullet journal setup for like a month, and I kept hitting the wall because I couldn't figure out how I wanted it to look. I know a lot of people go with the classic look, and then there's some very bold people that like to add color and jazz it up with different materials. And I was caught in the middle. I do like simplicity, but then I also like a lot of color and a lot of interest. So I kind of did a combination of both. I would say throughout this whole bullet journal setup, most of my pages have a little bit of classic look to it with some decor. I know some people leave out the key or the legend for their bullet journal, but I know that I needed a key for this year. This is my very first year starting off my bullet journal at the beginning of the year. I did do a little bit of bullet journaling starting in July of 2018, and that was to challenge myself for One Book July. Well, turned out pretty well, and I continued with the bullet journaling for the remaining of the year. Now, since I'm starting a brand new one and adding my collections and my whole setup, I feel like adding a key will help me standardize the way I plan, and not only plan in this bullet journal, but also in some of the other planners that I use in my daily routine. I thought it was brilliant when I watched Amanda Rachel Lee's video, and one of her bullet journal setups, she included a measurement page. So I added my own measurement page, very simple. I did the total dots going from top to bottom and left to right, and the total for the length is 39 dots in the Archer and Olive journal and 29 in the width. Having odd numbers is great because you know that when you reach the middle of the page, you'll always have an even number. Now moving on to the dreaded page. Some people call this the future log, others call it a year at a glance. Well, I'm calling it a mesh between the two. I wanted to be able to utilize both options without having to sacrifice too many pages to get what I think I need. So I've separated the year into 6 months. The first half of the year is at the top, the second half of the year is at the bottom. In the middle, I decided to add a timeline. This timeline is going to represent the birthdays that I know I need to remember and always typically, don't remember on time. And then I also have a little bit of space in between the timeline to add any future events. Okay, I'm back at it. This is so exhausting. I have a heavy hand and I grip my pen so tightly, which is why I had a stretch in the middle, and also why I like using my fountain pens, because they allow me not to have to grip the pen so hard to be able to write, since they could write without much pressure. Oh gosh, I just love this song. It's called Coffee and Unicorns, for those of you who don't know. Just the perfect combination. So here I'm adding my drop shadows. Of course I have to add drop shadows because drop shadows are the best. I feel like they tie your page together. If your page is looking very empty, add a drop shadow somewhere and you'll kind of see it coming together. Okay, so we're now moving on to my goals page. I have so many goals for 2019. It's unbelievable. And I feel like adding a goals page is going to help me tremendously. So I split it up into different quarters so that I make sure to check myself at the end of each quarter to make sure to hold myself accountable. And I also separated it from my personal and my business. I do have a little sticker shop where I make little stickers and they're so cute. Anyway, that is my goals page. The next spread was an image I found on Pinterest, and I think it was connected with lifewithme.com. I love this. To me, it is going to be my promise. This year I will do ... Well, this year I promise to do more of this and less of this. And I will come back to it at the end of the year just to make sure that my promises came true. I hope that if you're in the planner community, crafting community, stationery community, that you understand how hard it is to not be tempted to buy just about everything that you see online. And so because of that, I am going to have a savings tracker, and this page is hopefully going to help me save that money that I kind of just spend on a whim. I definitely needed to add a monthly subscription page just to keep track of those random subscriptions that I always forget by the end of the month. So that's what this page is for. On the far right column is every day of the month, and ideally I would use this by adding circles and coloring the circles for whatever list of subscriptions I have. Next is my YouTube and Instagram tracker. I was contemplating whether or not I would add it here at the beginning of my Bujo or during each monthly setup, but I decided if I add it here, then I can always look back, and it would help me from using up additional pages later on in the year, especially since this notebook only has 160 pages. I decided to add a cycle tracker because I wanted to be able to see how my cycle works throughout a whole year. I'm normally, this may be TMI, but I normally have a regular cycle and I've never done this before, so I think it would be very informative for myself. Okay, so we've reached the last page of my Bujo setup for 2019. If you are still here with me, thank you very much. I am ending this setup with my word of the year, and that is Zen. Lately, I've been feeling very anxious, and I just can't clear my head of things when I want to, like I used to when I was younger. Maybe that's just growing up and coming with age, or just having a family and just all the things you have to deal with. Well, next year I just want to be able to give myself a little bit more of me time and peace and quietness and some calmness. So I decided to really go all out with this word and just add little details, and I'm using one pen only on this page. This is my Muji gel point in the 0.5, and I really like how it came out. So I hope you guys enjoyed my whole setup. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I will be doing the flip through, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!